Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Immortal Thor Issue 8 2023. That is a crazy looking cover with Gaia and Thor and at the mercy of his mother Gaia on there. And this pretty much really does deal with what kind of goes on in the issue. And we also get a teaser for another issue we're doing a review for, Avengers Twilight Issue 4. So, I actually really enjoyed this Thor one because I liked that it was pretty much Thor confronting Gaia and getting kind of more information about her kind of motivations, why she would kind of allow Tyrannos to kind of like come into play, and what's kind of going on with that. So we start off first with another excerpt quote. "Ha! How the murmur deepens. I perceive and tremble at its dreadful import. Earth uplifts a general cry for guilt and wrong, and heaven is listening. Earth, William Cullen Bryant." That's ominous. So we start off with this very other ominous kind of looking thing, which is like telling us about this kind of place that's kind of like a place of power for Gaia. On the coast of Norway, there is a cave. It is as old as the glaciers, as old as the forming of the earth. It was here before people, and here people die. Boats are wrecked, swimmers are dragged under by the current. Those who enter never return, their bodies never found. If you do not approach this place with respect, it will kill you. Here the earth does not have mercy. Here the earth is cruel. Which we start learning about here. Then we see Thor coming in. The art in this is just great. Thor came to this place seeking truth, and though he came in full knowledge that such truth would not be easy heard, there was still a moment when the chill of the air gripped his heart. For what boy does not fear his mother's wrath? Yet Thor was no longer a child. He was all-father of the Aesir now, and he was Midgard's avenger. And to the Odin's son, these were not mere titles to be adorned with like an ermine cloak. They were vows, and I like that. Thor takes those seriously. He is not a brash, crazy person who will just be like, I'm all-father, I can do whatever I want. Oh, I'm an avenger of Midgard, I can do whatever I want. He takes those seriously. Thor had sworn an oath upon his own name to protect both gods and mortals, even in the maw of death itself. Yeah, and that's why I love reading about Thor. And now we get into him kind of speaking in his own mind. "And this cathedral of stone is indeed death's hall, for no mortal has seen it and lived, not since the gods were young. But before humanity had words upon their tongues, they huddled by firelight here, and daubed their histories. Tales of nature's great bounty, and what comes when such bounty is taken for granted. Nature is easily betrayed and easily betrays." That kind of cycle continuing upon itself. "Mother, show yourself! Your son stands in your place of power, and Thor would speak to thee." And as Thor cried out, his mother answered. Then we see him go into the depths, and the kind of gnarly looking form that she has. It was natural to hesitate. Thor was god of thunder, a god of the sky, of the clean air. Such a being is not at home when asked to voyage deeper and deeper into the earth. Very true. Yet the truth he sought was not found above, so he pressed on as the passage wound deeper, the rock narrower, until he reached the end of the journey and beheld Gaia. Yet this was not the Gaia he knew. "So speak," she says. It's like, yes, of course. It's kind of gives me Odin vibes of him getting truth and knowledge that he needs. "I see you are busy, mother, so I will not keep you long. For the question I have is a simple one. Why? Tyrannos, elder god of thunder, was loosed on Midgard. Mortals died whose lives I had sworn to protect. And had I not fought him, had I not sent him far from earth, all there might have died before I found the answer to his ancient rage, including you. The foe called himself the Thor of Utgard, and so I bade my skald remind me of that realm, and of the trials I undertook there in my youth. I wish to remember clearly what I did to keep sealed that realm that is no realm, and why I did so." And we see him pretty much relaying this to Gaia. And then kind of continuing on and using his thunder and lightning. "For should that door between realm and unrealm ever be unlatched, it would cause all that is, including you, to fall to catastrophe. So I was told by the Utgard Loki himself, and though he was first among tricksters, I felt the truth of it. And has this journey a destination? You know it well. You well know it, As Tyrannos fled, defeated back to whence he had come, he spoke a name to me, the name of she who had unsealed the gate, who had given him the freedom to wreak all his havoc. And it was your name, Mother, so I ask again, tell me why. And Thor's voice was the passion of the storm, as he's getting angrier, relaying this. Yet in his mother's was the harshness of the living rock. A fair question, and I will answer. Glad I am to hear it. But first I have a question of my own, upon which storms break. So, pretty much setting up that both are kind of like at an impasse. One is the storm, one is the rock that the storm breaks upon. Tell me, small god, who are you? Who are you to know my reasons? Who? I am the champion of Midgard, the realm you endangered. I am the avenger of those you have wronged. I am your child. I have many children, as we see Thor go even further into his lightning. And it's like, damn. And you are least among them. That's nuts, as she starts shooting out, like, vines at him. What? Mighty Avenger, champion of Earth. Where were you when the Earth was formed? Not born yet. And then she starts regaling her own kind of version of what was going on. When the Demiurge cast his gaze upon the dark of the deep and brought forth Titans, Tyrannos was there. Chthon and Set and Tiwaz were there. He you call Utgard Loki, he whose name we cannot know or speak, was there. And I was there, as the ancient gods made war, for I was there to win that war. And we go into what she kind of did to kind of get that to happen. The elders battled endlessly, monstrosities of myth, enemies by their nature, each seeking to claim whatever their kinfolk possessed, caring not for the ground under their feet, the good earth they sacrificed thoughtlessly to maintain a world of constant strife, caring not for the life that struggled to be born upon it. So just this endless war cycle. Not even my hardiest creations survived the stagnant churn of the God War. Yet I am life. I am life, and I would seed and spread and propagate. I would create and nurture creation. And in this, I alone of all here have common cause with thee, O Demiurge. Unknowable one, who planted the seeds of gods in the earth. I am the earth, and I am ready for the new seed. For I have a vision of life that springs and changes and grows from life, not from the decrees of almighty powers. First among sky fathers, cold gaze that brought us forth and doomed the world to us. Bestow upon me thy power of creation, that I might get this world with progeny immaculate and save it from. And she gets blasted by the Demiurge. There are things of which I will not speak, for they cannot be contained in words. For whenever life comes together to make new life, that is merely the play of shadows, and this was the light. I.e., whenever something, like, even if two people come together to create life, that is the shadow of this, the actual act of creating life. That's a thing that's done in philosophy and stuff like that. I like using that as like the true kind of thing. That's always an interesting concept to think about. The Demiurge did as he was bid. The new seed was planted. A seed of a new god who created himself in me. I held the light like an ember until I found my way to the deep places, perhaps to this very place. And there did I give birth, Thor, to thy eldest brother. And this, we get introduced to a new brother of Thor. At least I'm not that well versed with them. Atum was his name, first of the gods, and the first of the gods was a man of fire. The sun he was, and the god of the sun. And he burned away all that was not needed on the earth, the elder gods first of all. Those ancient ones shrieked curses as he tore them from existence, taking all essence of them into himself, lest any scrap remain to be reborn. It's like, damn! Again, showing how successive generations can become better, and better at certain kind of things than what you would think. It's that whole kind of thing that you see throughout every kind of mythology with gods and everything. And in so doing, he showed his other face, the shifting face that turns upon this world when Atum turns away. The night side, when the sun has set, the empty shell that howls through many mouths. Demogorge. Yeah, Demogorge. And that is gnarly looking. Holy fucking shit. I've faced your first son many times. You faced the Demogorge. You never fought Atum. Heed my words, Thor. Do not. Like, that's crazy. Just seeing that's like, whoa. If you say so, Mother, the Elder Gods survived him, a scant few. Chthon and Set created nether planes to escape to. Ashtur and Tiwaz wandered, siring their own children. That's kind of nuts that they're like, I don't want to fuck with this person, so I'm just going to create another plane of existence and fuck off. That's a scary thought. And then there could be the one who cannot be named. You also form your own domain, a nameable one. My outland, yes, far from your monstrous son and his monstrous gullet. Tiwa sent his servant with a rumor in its beak that Tyrannus will travel with you. Ha! Don't say you're surprised, sister. There's common ground in being hunted by a ravenous god-killer, and why just one to a plane? There's strength in numbers. Kemmer will be with us, and hooded Mejid, and the blood-handed Nurgle, of course. We may build a temple out there, a pantheon, a great hall out in the Utgard. Now the gate is built, and for you, sister, the key, in case you ever wish to unlock it. It's like, oh shit. And that just looks crazy with Utgard Loki handing the key out like that. And after millennia you did. You unsealed the gate the Utgard Loki built. The gate that lies in all realms and no realm. Why, Mother? You said you would answer. What reason could you possibly have for turning on your own children? Ask the dinosaurs. Ask lost Asham, yeah, which I allowed thy father to raise. The earth is not always kind. And if you look upon those who think they own it, who own me as if I was given to them by some greater god still, if I see them and see that they will not change until change is forced upon them, then I will force that change to spare them even worse. It was humanity that summoned the superstorm, Thor. I merely took them at their word. And I understand that, but that's just wrong. And I agree with Thor being like, so this is your justice then. To save the mortals from themselves, you must kill them by the thousands. Is that correct? I have heard such cold rationales before, Mother. I did not accept them then, and I will not now, as he's able to free himself from her vines. I'm like, yes, I love that. That's just really well done. I love that art. You rebel against my judgment, child? I do, for it is judgment without mercy. If the mortals have a chance to change their fates, they must be allowed to try, and I will defend their right to do so, even against the earth itself, as he hurls Mjolnir and lightning at Gaia. And I'm like, yeah, right page there. I'm like, I agree with Thor's rationale on that. But you cannot fight the earth itself, Thor, and you are wrong. There is mercy in my judgment. Long before any of this, when I first saw the road humanity would walk, I gave them one hope. I gave them you, Thor. You are my mercy. It's like, interesting. We'll have to see how that works out. You say that this child is your mercy and that they will help them, and Thor is. But you then go and do this crazy-ass judgment of being like, here's a stronger Thor to pretty much kill them. It's like, fuck. But I will not seal the gate again on your entreaty. Thy defeat of Tyrannus bought time, but the time for Midgard grows short. If you have a more precise judgment to apply against those who would end the earth, I suggest you hurry. So we then see that Thor goes to Roxxon to confront Dario Augur. Welcome to Roxxon headquarters, sir. May I see some identification? As we just hear clunk, as like the hammer. Yeah, you know. Right! And the nature of your business here, the one who rules Roxxon, the Minotaur. His greed and evil hath bedeviled myself and my mother for many years. I would speak on that with him. I'm sorry, sir, that will absolutely not be possible. I take it that elevator leads to his office. It's a secure elevator, sir. I cannot stress enough that Mr. Augur does not take meetings without a prior appointment. Then he will see me, for I have had an appointment for a meeting with Dario Augur for some considerable time. And he just starts twirling his hammer as he's getting ready to go through there. And it will be our final meeting. And that's crazy. I love that he's got his axe as well. And the Last Judgment. Now, this then has a thing for the next issue, and another kind of weird one by Roxxon. I'll have to see what kind of goes on with that. I think it's like a one-off, so we'll see how that kind of goes. The next issue, The Enchantress of Worlds. The son of Odin came to the Citadel of Roxxon to make war for the sake of the earth herself. But his enemies were waiting to steal from him the one thing that was Thor's alone, and they had crafted the foulest of weapons to do it. This is the story of the immortal Thor and of the trap he could not escape. which then also gets to Roxanne Presents Thor Issue 1. The Roxanne Age of Comics begins. In his secret identity as AI spokesguru Chad Hammer, the son of Odin knows Mama Gaia is a top priority for heroes and for business. But when a group of insane environmental activists takes saving the Earth too far, it's time to show them the wisdom on both sides as Thor. But which god of evil is prompting the kids to rebel? Could it be Loki, god of evil? Featuring an all-star cast of heroes, Minotaur, Executioner, Enchantress, and the Thor Truck. This is the story of the Roxanne, I would think it would be Roxanne, Thor, and it's a vital part of the Absolution mega event. So we'll have to see how that kind of works out. So, I really enjoyed this because we got information and we got it in an interesting kind of way. Granted, I could definitely see people being like, this is mainly an info dump issue and setting up stuff for that's coming forward. But we got information on how Gaia views the situation, that she is doing this in the best interest of her children, even if it could lead to their total and utter destruction. Thor's like, that's fucking insane, that's stupid, no. So he is then tasked with pretty much going after Dario Auger, Roxanne, who would probably want to be the best kind of targets for using the Earth and fucking it over to whatever kind of advantage he can. So I do like setting it up between Thor and Dario Auger like that. But we have been seeing that they've been messing with Thor's history and stories, so I'll have to see how that kind of works out and how that kind of changes Thor and what is going to be going on with that, because that also then links up with Loki as the Skald, and I don't think that Skald Loki would take too kindly to that, so they would be kind of aligned a little bit, even though Loki would probably be doing his own kind of thing to ensure that Thor is ready for the trials and tribulations that would come with probably Atum and Tyrannos, Utgard Loki, Utgard Odin, and the kind of greater gods that he would probably have to deal with what's kind of coming and happening on. Because Gaia seems to be wanting to usher in a new kind of age, a new kind of change for the peoples of Earth, and probably, mainly for the peoples of Earth, because Gaia, Earth, ugh. So we'll see how Thor kind of deals with this challenge. I do like that he pushed back against Gaia's judgment and asserted himself like he would do with Odin and others who would do crazy ass shit like this. So I can't wait to see where this kind of goes. I do understand people being like, this would probably be a slow one, not that much going on, but we still did get some kind of action with the gods fighting each other in the primordial, the wartime scene, Atum unleashing his power and everything, Gaia warning Thor about going up against Atum. We'll see how that kind of works and shakes out. So I'm excited for this kind of stuff. I like this kind of story and how it's kind of going forward. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.